You're good?
We good?
I think we're good.
All right.
Alright.
What's good, everyone? Welcome back, Sports on Tap podcast. We're finally here after about 3 months of waiting, but it's going to be worth it from now on. So, from here on,
30%.
we have a weekly podcast covering the previous round and the round coming up. So, we may as well jump straight into it.
And
First
also,
topic,
we'll have a YouTube channel, by the way. We'll
we
also have a
will.
YouTube channel.
We got to get that set up. But, jump straight into it. First topic is going to be the Vegas recap now. NRL, Peter V'landys somehow got it done. Took the greatest sport of all to America. He somehow did it. 12 months ago, we weren't expecting it. 12 months later, we're in Vegas with the Manly Eagles, South Sydney Rabbitohs, Sydney Roosters, and the Brisbane Broncos, the four chosen teams to play in the historic doubleheader. And first game to kick off things was Manly and the South Sydney Rabbitohs, with
my team.
Manly going up 36-24. What were your thoughts on that game?
I thought it was pretty good. I think the Bunnies do look better compared to last season, in my opinion. And honestly, I actually think Seagulls looked really good. They look like maybe a bit of an exaggeration. They literally look like a top 4 team. I'm not even kidding. They actually look so good in it.
Yeah, they do have a top 4 team, I reckon. But like people say, it's only round one. But Manly, they looked very, very good.
They did.
That entire game. But one key player, though, was Luke Brooks, his first game in Manly colours. How did you rate his performance?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Just like the rest of the team, like the back spine of the Seagulls is just definitely up there for the best. It's just like all the team worked together pretty good in my opinion. They just looked really good. And so did and the Bunnies do look better compared to last season.
The Bunnies, they did look pretty good, but that Manly spine, you had Trbojevic, Brooks, Cherry Evans, Croker.
Yeah.
Good spine. You know, obviously Luke Brooks' first game, he was still settling in, but he looked like he was at home, mate. He looked like he was still playing for the Tigers, but honestly, that was a very good game. But the Bunnies, on the other hand, they did get off to a very good start.
Yeah.
They had Richie Kenner scoring in the 6th minute, followed by Olaquatu at the 22nd. But then, debutant Jacob Gagai scoring in Vegas. How good is that? He can tell his family that his grandkids, his kids that played on debut in Vegas and he scored a try in Vegas. I'm sure that's one that he'd love to tell his grandkids. But Jason Saab's try, though, that intercept just before halftime, I know you're a Bunnies fan, you didn't like that, but that was still a good try. In my opinion, that's try of the round from Vegas.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah.
You know, Bunnies were looking to shift it to the left side. They did have numbers, but Latrell just timed his pass a bit too early.
Yeah.
And went straight to the hands of Jason Saab and sprints away 50 meters, which then did put Manly up at halftime 12-10. But then the Bunnies did score 2 quick tries through Latrell and AJ to put them up by 10. Sorry, to put them up 20-12. But then ever since then, Lachlan Croker, 49th minute, Ben Trbojevic, 53, Garrick, 60. And then since then, Manly just ran away with it and the Bunnies just slowed down. But like you said, the Bunnies do look very good this year.
Yeah.
Maybe not making the finals from last season has actually motivated them. But like I said, it's round one. You know, you can't rule out any teams just yet.
Yeah. I mean, I will say from that game is that Latrell needs to work on his fucking conversions. Because if he kicked like all of his conversions, it would have
been 36-30. He kicked 2 for 5. Latrell.
Yeah, like it just he needs to work on that, but because it would have make the score look better and make it so there was only one try needed in order to tie at the end. But
they would have needed that one try.
Yeah.
But maybe that's something that Latrell can focus on obviously all four Vegas teams do have that bye,
Yeah,
sort of technical bye.
yeah,
You know, they can. I know the Broncos are going straight back into their training yesterday, while the other three teams are still recovering.
yeah.
So obviously, Bunnies have that 11-day turnaround. Manly have that 14-day turnaround. So
Mm.
Manly got the job done there. And the second game was the Roosters up against the Broncos. Roosters took care of business there, 20
Oh,
points to 10.
and they're only on full strength.
They weren't full strength. They
Which is kind of
missed
nuts. Dom Young
Dom
and
Young, who was a good one.
yeah,
I think
and
that's about it.
there was one more player, but I don't know if he's like a key player.
Um,
I'm not sure that I remember, but
sure, but Roosters only missed, as far as I know, they missed Dom Young. But
mm,
the Roosters, honestly, the Broncos just did not come to play.
yeah,
Honestly, that
I
first try to Joey Manu from the intercept from Ezra,
yeah.
it looked like they did not come to play the Broncos. The Roosters were hungry for it more,
Yeah, like
to
I
be honest.
think my prediction is that Broncos are taking it easy just because they think like, oh, like they're really good, so they don't have to like try too much. So I think my prediction is that the first couple matches they're gonna get punched in the mouth a lot, and then they're gonna finally realize, oh shit, we're actually gonna have to try, and I think they'll just start blitzing everyone again. But I think for the first couple matches rounds, they're gonna be getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah, well, people are still calling it a grand final hangover,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
can't really use that as an excuse. You know, you've had, what, 5 months to obviously at the off season, but from December, you had from December to March to train, 3 months of training, bring that over to Vegas and to lose by 10. But it's all right. Broncos, they're like you said, maybe the first couple of games they'll take it easy and then they'll start to pick it up. Like I said with the Manly game, it's only round one, you know, a 10-point loss, so
Yeah,
big deal. There's still 23 more games to go for the Bronx.
yeah,
It's not like their season's done or anything.
yeah.
But the Roosters, on the other hand, this first round one win is actually,
Pretty
this
big.
could be a bit of motivation. Obviously, a lot of people had them to win the title, win the premiership last season.
Mm,
Massive failure.
mm.
But could this be a, something? Could this be a sign of the Roosters in 2024?
I mean, guess we'll see. I mean, I had them doing pretty bad this year, but that first round game, they looked pretty good.
This could be a wake-up call for
Yeah,
the Sydney Roosters, and obviously they do have that 14-day turnaround. They'll play Manly Sunday, 17th of March, and the Broncos will play the Bunnies on the 14th
yeah.
of March. So 11-day turnaround for the Bronx, 14 for the Roosters. But probably the main talking point out of this game was the incident between Spencer Leniu and Ezra Mam.
Oh
Obviously, if
yeah,
you
Clara
haven't heard,
Monkey.
yes, Spencer Leniu, uh, parent called Ezra Mam a monkey, and he has actually come forward this morning. Um, Spencer Leniu has actually come forward,
Mhm.
and he has been pleaded guilty. Spencer Leniu has said, "I want to apologize to Ezra and his family for using the word I did, and I'm sincerely sorry to cause him such distress. I put my hand up and want to take ownership of this. I said the word, but I did not mean it in a racist way. Anyone who knows me knows that's not who I am." That's from the Daily Telegraph. So Spencer Leniu has confronted himself,
That's good.
and
That's really good.
which is very good of Spencer, but
Mm.
you know, we don't need anything like that in the
Yeah.
sport of NRL. Obviously, Latrell Mitchell is also, he's been in a similar position a couple of years ago from Panthers fans. He
Mm.
was racially abused walking into the tunnels at halftime from Panthers fans. So
Yeah.
he's obviously been in this situation. He is supporting Ezra. A lot of players are supporting Ezra.
Yeah.
And by the sounds of it, Spencer Leniu could be missing up to maximum 4 months on the sidelines, which is more than half the season. So he
Jeez.
could miss 4 months max, but he'll most likely only miss 2 months. So the
Yeah.
first 2 months he'll probably be out. And in 2 months, these two sides do play again in Brisbane, so Spence could be returning at Suncorp, and if he does play, those Broncos crowds are not going to like it at all. They're going to give him the biggest boo of his life.
Oh, yeah.
And also, after that game, the bit of an incident at the hotel as well, there were Katoni Staggs, Ezra Mam, and Jordan Ricky, I think it was, who actually bumped into Spencer Leniu and had a altercation with them. No physical harm was done, as both teams' diners staying at the same hotel on the same floor, and both team diners are 50 meters away from each other. So maybe they just got up at the same time and bumped into each other, but no physical harm was done.
Yeah.
So yeah, Roosters winning that one. So 14-day turnaround.
I will
Now,
say the positives for the upsets winning is that I got a $10 bet on. I followed from a Snag Sports. Basically, every upset to win, and if I get it, I'll win like $12,000. So that is a good thing for me, I guess, out of that weekend.
it's the only positive from that weekend. But now, tonight, it is official. Rugby is officially back in Australia.
Fuck
And we
yes.
kick things off tonight with the Newcastle Knights, who will play the Canberra Raiders, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at McDonald Jones Stadium. And I do actually have a couple interesting stats here from this game. Shout out to Random Stats NRL on Instagram. Make sure you give them a follow if you don't. The Knights have never won on a Thursday night at McDonald Jones Stadium, nor have they defeated a non-Queensland club on a Thursday night.
Ooh.
So, could this be an advantage? Could this be advantage Canberra?
Oh, I mean, you know what they say, it's always 1 to 12 with Raiders, so well, whoever's
It is
going to
1
be,
to 12 with
it's
Raiders.
as usual.
Obviously, the last meeting we had one of the all-time finals games last season, Knights and the Raiders in week 1, with Newcastle winning it 30-28. And that was the end of the season for the Raiders. Next season, their first game is against the Knights at the exact same spot. Could the Raiders be seeking out revenge in round 1?
Guess we'll have to see. I'm so fucking excited for this game. That's all I can say.
Sure, everyone's excited for this game. And head-to-head, since 1998, there's been 46 games. Knights edge it out 23-21 with 2 draws. So Knights have the all-time favor, but only barely. They're up by 2 games. So yeah, that's 7 p.m. and there is actually some more stats that I can find out from the match center, but I reckon this is actually going to be a good game. We'll get into obviously the head-to-head later.
Yeah.
But Brayley is still coming back from his injury, so he has been ruled out. So here's some stat attack from the NRL website. The Knights have won 6 of their past 8 games against Canberra. Raiders have lost their last 4 straight away games on the road. Knights, Greg Marshall has scored 15 tries in his past 14 games. Raiders have won the past 4 out of 5 round 1 games. And the Knights have won 6 straight at McDonald Jones Stadium. So, sounds like advantage Knights. But who knows? After hearing that Thursday night stat where they haven't won at McDonald Jones Stadiums, it's going to be 50-50 with this game.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, if you're betting, Greg Marju is a free bet. It's a free bet.
Greg Marju is a free bet. But one matchup that is going to be very good tonight in the forward line, Tyson Frizzell versus Hudson Young. 2 New South Wales forwards. Obviously, Frizzell played for New South Wales. Hudson made his debut last season. What a matchup in the forwards. I mean, we'll see the reigning Dally M winner, Kalen Ponga, in action tonight. How do you reckon he's going to go tonight? Reigning Dally M winner.
I mean, I reckon he'll do well, just like usual. Like, he is up there for like one of the greats. So as usual, it's gonna be nice to see. I have him for some points. I was thinking about doing him as a try scorer because he's usually pretty good for when I put him on, but decided just to put like 4 points. I think I did maybe 6. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
He is an absolute freak. I just love him on the 3rd, 4th tack. Left hand side skip ball,
Mhm.
Cutout ball always hits the winger in the chest. There's always a try. Whenever you see Ponga on the
Yeah.
left side, you can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be a try.
Yeah.
So, be good to see the young bloke in action tonight.
Yeah.
So that's to start things off round one,
Mm.
and we jump over to the Friday night doubleheader. First of all, we'll kick things off in New Zealand with the New Zealand Warriors, who made the preliminary final last year. They'll take on the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. And what a game to kick things off Friday night. Two teams that made the finals last season. What a way to start Friday night.
Oh, well, for me, it's gonna be up the wires for this one.
It's definitely going to be up the wires for a lot of people.
Mm.
5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Mhm.
Cronulla have not won a round one game outside of New South Wales since 1990.
Wait,
So it has been
what the fuck?
whenever 90 was. So it's been 34 years since Cronulla have won a game outside of New South Wales in round one. So that is a long, long wait for Cronulla fans. So
Jeez.
the Wires are in here, and they have won their last 5 games at Go Media Stadium. Sharks have lost opening round game 9 of the past 10 seasons, and not the reigning try scorer of the year, BWZ, scored
Mm.
24 tries in 19 NRL games. Jack Williams, the Sharks forward, will play his 100th NRL game, and the Warriors have scored 76 points in home and away wins against the Sharks in 2023.
Fucking hell.
44 points at home, and then they had that historic 32-point game in Cronulla with that historic comeback. So, sounds like massive advantage to the Wires for this game.
Yeah.
But we also have another big talking point from this game, the return of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. His first game for the Warriors since 2021, obviously went to rugby union to play for the All Blacks, wanted to play in the World Cup. That didn't quite work out.
Mm.
So the Warriors took him back, and he's going to play in the centres
Mhm.
because you obviously got Charles Nickel-Klogstad as their number one fullback, who will not be playing this weekend due to an injury. So they got the young guy, Tane Tuapiki,
Mhm.
who is going to be their starting fullback, who hasn't played much NRL games. But obviously Andrew Webster has the faith in him. He'll chuck him at fullback and Roger at number 4. But another good matchup from this game is going to be Sean Johnson versus Nicholas Hines, the runner-up from Dally M last year, up
Oh.
against our 2022 Dally M winner. What a matchup that is in the sevens.
Oh, that's gonna be
That
so
is
good.
that is a matchup to look out for. And Nico Hines actually was ruled out of the preseason challenge match versus the Bulldogs with the quad complaint.
Yeah.
But obviously he's feeling fine, and he said to Craig, "I'm happy to play." And also, Brandon Hamlin-Uele is another week away from injury with his knee complaint. Oregon Kafusi and Royce Hunt will start up front with Toby Rudolph to come off the bench. And like we said, Charles Nickel-Klogstad is still recovering from his hamstring to put Tane in the fullback, who's played only 6 NRL games.
Mm.
So, going to be a good start. And obviously, Luke Metcalf playing against his old club for the 3rd time.
Mhm.
Will partner Sean Johnson in the halves with Tamare Martin back into the reserves. So that's
Yeah.
to kick off Friday night footy in New Zealand, and then we go for our possibly game of the round. It is the Melbourne Storm versus the reigning champs, the Penrith Panthers. What a game to finish Friday night footy at 7:05 p.m. Australian Standard Time in Melbourne. What a
Mhm.
game. How good is that going to be? The 3-time champs versus the team from last decade, the Melbourne Storm.
Mhm.
How good. So, big stat line here.
Yep.
The Melbourne Storm have won 21 straight round 1 games.
Yep.
21 straight, dating all the way back to 2003.
Mhm.
So, can Craig Bellamy and his side make it 22 straight
I
against
mean,
the three-peat champs?
Originally, I thought it was 50-50, but I'm pretty sure the Storm's just got an out just right now, actually.
Yes, so big news coming out of Melbourne. Cameron Munster has been
Yep,
ruled out with a groin injury.
yep, it was just then.
So that is big news coming out of Melbourne. So Cameron Munster, the 5'8", will miss tomorrow night's clash with
Mhm.
against the Penrith Panthers, and that'll most likely bring in Tyrone Wishart or Jonah Peasant into the number 6 role. And that'll move Trent Liero into the lock. So
Yeah, so
big news coming out of Melbourne.
originally it was for me it was 50-50. I think I'm gonna slightly probably tip the Panthers just because they just like even though it's preseason, they're just coming off a loss. So and plus with Cameron Munster gone, I don't think they're gonna come off wanting to really they're gonna really want to win this one.
Well, we haven't seen Cam Munster play all year because he didn't get named in that Fijian game
Yeah,
versus the Knights over in Fiji.
yeah,
So we haven't seen Cam Munster in action all season, obviously because of his injury.
yeah.
So let's hope he can have a speedy recovery and come back in round 2 against the Warriors.
Mhm.
But don't forget this. Don't just because Munster's out, Storm still have a very good team. Obviously,
Yeah,
their
of course.
backline is looking very strong. Jerome Hughes, Coates, Meany
Mhm.
into the centers, and obviously Ryan Papenhuyzen, hopeful to play his first full season in since about 2020, 21. Obviously coming back from that very bad, horrific injury in the qualifier versus the Bronx last season.
Mm.
But it's going to be very good to see Ryan back on the field.
Mm.
Obviously, even if you're not a Storm fan, still got to love Pappenhausen.
Mm.
So he's got a good matchup against the 3-time champ Dylan Edwards,
Mhm.
which is going to be a very good matchup. And while we're on the Panthers, Jerome Luai has actually been named. So he's gone through his process. Obviously missed the World Club Challenge over
Mm.
there in England, and he's been named against the Storm. So he's obviously fit and ready to play.
Yeah,
And this is actually his last season with the Penrith Panthers before he moves on to the West Tigers in 2025. So
that's gonna be interesting to see.
it is his last season with Cleary, who was looking for another big season. Nathan Cleary, which is very surprising. He's a 3-time champ, but he's yet to win a Dally M medal. So can he prove himself and finally win the Dally M in 2024? It's gonna be pretty tough.
Mhm.
But
It will be.
and big question is actually, how will the Panthers go without Stephen Crichton this season?
I think it won't. Like, honestly, obviously it's a loss, because he's the best in this position, Stephen Crichton. But
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think it'll impact too much, if I'm gonna be honest, just because the rest of the team is just still so strong, so strong.
They've chucked Talon May into the centers to fill in Stephen Crichton's position and keep the Rookie of the Year, Suni Taruva, in the winger.
Mm.
So Talon May got some big shoes to fill. Obviously, first season back from his ACL injury, missed the entirety of the 2023 season. And Talon was meant to be serving a suspension that from his incident at a bar in 2022, but the NRL has cleared it, and he said happy to play. And some fans are saying it's controversial, saying that he should serve his 3-game suspension, but because it's the Panthers, fans are saying that the NRL wants to protect it. But hey, it is what it is. The kid's missing an entire year, so I
Yeah,
think he deserves to play after missing an entire year.
yeah.
So that's kick off Friday night. What a double header! And then we jump on to Saturday Arvo double headers. Start things off in Parramatta. It is the Eels hosting the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs down at
Oh,
CommBank.
okay. This is gonna be an
Now this is going
interesting
to be
match.
a very big game for the Bulldogs and their new signings. Obviously, the Dogs signed a lot of players in the off season.
Mm.
And obviously with the big one, Stephen Crichton. But it's going to be very good. Good game either way. 4:30 in Combank Stadium, and Serraldo has gone for a big decision of chucking young rookie Blake Taffin at fullback and Stephen Crine in the centres.
Mm.
So maybe Critter would have said, hey, he wants to play in the centres and give young Blake a run. But, hey, it is what it is. So we're going to see a good matchup. Stephen Crine, his first game in Dogs colours. First full game, Dog colours. How do you reckon he's going to go?
I think he'll do really well. I think he'll definitely. Obviously, he's only just one player, but I think he'll definitely help out what the Bulldogs are looking for. Just, stronger team. And it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to go, though, really.
It is going to be good. I reckon Stephen's going to have a very, very good game. But like we said before, it's only round one. If he has a terrible game, it's not the end of the season.
Yeah.
But I'm actually looking forward to this game, to be honest. So we got some main stats. Para have won 7 of their last 8 against Canterbury. The Dogs have only won 2 of their last 15 games at Combank Stadium. The fullback for Para, Clint Gutherson, has scored 9 tries in his past 10 against the Bulldogs. The Dogs have opened with a win only once in their past 7 years, and 5'8". Dylan Brown will make his 100th NRL appearance on Saturday Arvo. So, sounds like advantage Parramatta, with the Bulldogs only winning 2 of the last 15 at Combank and only winning 1 round 1 game in the past 7 years. So, sounds like massive advantage Parramatta. Being at Combank Stadium too, round 1. I reckon the Para fans are going to be out there in full colours.
Oh yeah, they're going to be real supporting them. I got Parramatta head to head, but obviously not 100% certain with it. So
and obviously, Para had that very, very poor season last year, not even making the top 8. So they're going to be out wanting to seek revenge. And I've actually had a lot of bold predictions this season about Dylan Brown potentially winning the Dally M medal of the year. So that's a very, very bold prediction.
that is very bold.
But we'll have to see how he goes. So that's starting off Saturday footy, and then we jump straight over to the Gold Coast, where the Titans and the Dragons open up their account for 2024 at Cbus Super Stadium. Now, what a matchup. This is actually going to be a very good game. Both teams had I wouldn't say Titans had they had a poor half of the season, but then I reckon their last quarter of the season, we saw the best of the Titans.
Yeah.
So, but the Dragons, on the other hand, they did have a pretty poor season, but Dragons, they did pick up, they got a new coach now, Shane Flanagan, 2016 Premiership winner with the Sharks, who also signed his son, Kyle Flanagan, who will start in the halves alongside Ben Hunt this season. So, Dragons are looking pretty strong, but the Gold Coast Titans, they do have a good team. Obviously signed Broncos forward Keenan Palacia, who will play in the lock for this game against St. George. But on paper, both these sides are looking really, really strong.
It does look really good, but honestly, I mean, Dragons are missing. Sorry, not Dragons, Titans. They're missing. Who are they missing again?
They're missing Dave Fafita with the injury. And AJ Brimson was a last-minute decision. Suffered a Category 2 concussion in the preseason challenge versus Para, and he's passed those protocols, so he's been named to play. So mainly they're just missing Fafita.
Yeah,
is their main one, and they actually also are missing Jaden Campbell, who is actually still recovering from his knee injury from last season, but he's likely to come back in round 3.
Yeah.
So
It's honestly, if you're a Dragons fan, it's 100% worth doing Dragons head to head. But what I think is probably the best bet is doing Dragons for a starting like a head start with 12 or around 12 points, which is the same odds as Titans winning. So I think that's just like a really, really good bet to put in a multi.
Yeah, I
And it'd
mean,
be
I
even
would.
worth just Dragons head to head even. Like I honestly like it's gonna be a close game I reckon, but I honestly Dragons will get this one.
I mean, it's going to be very, very close.
Mm,
With this game, it can go either way,
yeah,
but um, yeah, you really can't predict it
yeah,
until kickoff, really. Yeah, it's
yeah.
just one of those games where, like the Storm and the Panthers, if Munster was playing, it's one of those 50-50 games. But even though the Titans are missing out on Campbell and Fafita,
Mm.
Dragons are full strength. They've got no injuries at all, so
Yeah, that's
they're
gonna be interesting to
100%.
see.
So Cleese Haas, brother of Payne, jumps into second row, obviously for the injured David Fafita and big name, both for more in his first season back from his ACL injury, missing the entirety of the 2023 season. He's back. And second year recruit Sam Verrills will come off the bench. And Jojo Fafita, Joe Simpson, all surprisingly named in the reserves, but this will be AJ Brimson's first season into the centres,
Mm.
which will put young gun Keanu Kinney into the fullback for the first two games until Jaden Campbell comes back. I reckon this is going to be a breakout year for Jaden Campbell when he comes back from injury.
Yeah,
Obviously suffering that poor injury against the Warriors last season. And when he returns, I reckon he's going to be exactly like his father, Preston Campbell.
yeah.
It's a bit of a big one, but I reckon Jaden is in for a very, very good year in 2024.
Oh
So
yeah.
the Titans, they've won their last 4 of their past 6 against St. George. Dragons have lost 4 straight at Seabus Super Stadium. The Titans winger Lofiana Khan Pereira scored 20 tries in 23 NRL games. Kaylee Ravalawa has scored 15 tries in the past 12 games.
Mm.
And Titans forward Isaac Lee-Reach will play 250 NRL games if he overcomes injury in time to play against the Dragons. So he's currently coming off the bench, but it sounds like he will be a game time decision. If he does play, he'll play NRL game 250.
Ooh.
So the stats don't lie. And speaking of Khan Pereira, what a season he had 2023. His first season in the NRL, and he broke the try scoring record in Titans history with 20 tries.
That is
So
crazy.
that is crazy coming from a young rookie who was 19. Yeah, he was 19 years of age, Khan Pereira, and he's already broken the single season try scoring record for the Titans.
Jeez.
So what a
Looks
game
very good for his future.
he is going to be. Obviously, I reckon. I'm going to give a bold prediction. I reckon he plays for Queensland in Game 3 this year.
Ooh.
I'm going to say Lofi plays Origin in Game 3 for
That
Queensland
would be
this
very
year.
nice to see, actually.
He doesn't, not even in the starters. He can be named in the reserves,
Mm.
but I reckon he will be a name. He will get named in the Queensland team this season. I
Honestly,
reckon he's in for another good season.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And I reckon I've got another bold prediction with Lofi. I reckon he's going to break the try scoring record again. With the
Ooh.
Titans attack, and the Titans backline, mate, they're going to have a good offense and they're going to keep on feeding it to Lofi. He might be up there for the try scorer of the year. He might be up there.
Oh.
So I reckon he's going to play Origin, and he's going to play Origin, and he's going to break his record again.
Am I hearing some more bold predictions right now?
I'll get to my bold predictions at the end, but that's one for the Titans. So to finish off round 1, Sunday Arvo footy at Suncorp. We're going to be there. It is the Dolphins hosting the boys from up north, the North Queensland Cowboys.
Oh.
And what a game to finish off round one. A Queensland derby on a Sunday Arvo, Suncorp Stadium. You can't ask for anything better than that. Seriously, you just can't.
Gonna be a good game, but
305.
I'm being honest, I think this is probably the only head-to-head game where I'm positive Cowboys is gonna win.
You reckon
Honestly?
the Cowboys are going to get up?
Honestly, yeah, this is probably the most confident head-to-head I'm into.
It's going to
If I'm
be
being honest.
it's going to be very, very close. I wouldn't go head to head because I reckon the Dolphins are actually a chance.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance, especially with round one.
And saw them against the Titans. They got up. And then against the Warriors, they trailed, but they did have a good comeback. Against the Warriors, they were down like 30-14, I think it was. And then scored 2 quick tries, but Dolphins do look very strong. Obviously, they did pick up a big name of Herbie Farnworth, and Thomas Flegler, and Jake Avarillo. So the Dolphins are only getting better.
Yeah.
Which surprisingly, Avarillo has been named on the bench. He did have an injury.
Yeah.
But not many Dolphins fans knew that he had an injury because they're complaining on why Avarillo is on the bench. But most of them don't know he had an injury. But the Cowboys, on the other hand, they are also coming off a pretty unexpected and poor season. Obviously going from the preliminary finals in 2022 to missing the finals in 2023. After round one, they might be back. The Cowboys, I reckon they're going to go back to playing finals footy in 2024, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, going to be good. And Jermaine Asako, reigning point scorer and reigning try scorer and reigning winger of the year, winning 3 awards last season.
That is crazy.
He's in his first season with the Dolphins as well, and second season with the Finns. I reckon he's going to go on for another top point scorer again. Maybe try scorer. It's going to be close between him and Greg Marju, and maybe Khan Pereira. But I reckon he's guaranteed point scorer. So you just got a massive advantage when you're a goal kicker and when you're scoring tries as a winger. You know, when you're a winger and you're a goal kicker, it's just a massive advantage because you're scoring tries and you're kicking conversions. So that's just a massive advantage for Jermaine Asako. But another name, Cody Nikarima, has edged out Zaya Katoa at the starting number 6 jersey. So that's looking pretty good for Cody. He's been shuffled around by teams a lot in his recent affair. He started off with the Bronx, and then he went to the Warriors, and he went to the Bunnies, and then he went to the Dolphins. So I think he's found a new home, Cody Nikarima. It was actually a very, very good young player. I remember his debut back in 2015 with the Bronx against Parramatta. He was on for 30 seconds, and he gets a flick pass try assist to Anthony Milford. I remember that like it was yesterday. So he's a very, very good young player, Cody Nikarima. And to reunite with Wayne Bennett, who actually helped Cody build his game, Wayne Bennett, to reunite with him again, very, very special for the young kid. So, also new recruit Tom Flegler starts into the props. Very good. Very, very good signing. But how do the Broncos fans feel about Herbie and Thomas leaving?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got to feel, a little bit salty, but they still got a strong team,
They do. I mean, I'm actually still very disappointed that Herbie's not in Bronx colours. It's going to be very sad when he versus us in round 6. Bronx Dolphins. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Cowboys, on the other hand, Valentine Holmes is coming back from his 6 or 7 game suspension for
Ooh.
against the Titans for I think it might have been a massive major head high tackle against the Titans last season. So he's first game back in Cowboys colours. Scott Drinkwater stays at fullback. What a tear Scott Drinkwater was on at the back end of 2023. I think he finished with like 25 try assists.
Oh, Jesus.
He was up there for fullback of the year, but obviously edged out by Kalen Ponga. So, could we see the same Scott Drinkwater that we did from 2023? Maybe.
I mean, if they really want to make it into the finals, then they're gonna have to be,
I mean, that is true, but you can't just have Drinkwater play like that to make the final. You gotta have,
the whole team.
Kyle Felt, Valentine Holmes, all the big gun players, and like what's his name, Chad Townsend, who has actually surprisingly not been named captain. Tom Dearden and Ruben Cotter have been named the co-captains for 2023. And sorry, Chad Townsend is the main captain, but Tom Dearden and Ruben Cotter have been named co-captains. So at the age of 22, Tom Dearden is already a captain for the Cowboys in his 3rd full season. So that's a major achievement for the young bloke. Obviously coming from the Broncos. So he's found a new home in North Queensland. But, yeah. So that's Sunday Arvo footy.
Yeah, I'm fucking hyped.
Find some stats here. So, Dolphins have won 3 of their 6 derby games against Queensland opposition last season. Cowboys won 4 of their past 5 at Suncorp. Dolphins winger Jermaine Asako scored 7 tries in 8 games at Suncorp in 2023. Cowboys fullback Scott Drinkwater has scored 9 tries in his past 12 NRL games. And Dolphins forward Mark Nichols will play game number 150 in the NRL. So that's round 1. Now it's time for some head-to-head predictions. So we'll start off with you, Onyx. Thursday night footy. The Knights and the Raiders, who you got?
Gonna go, the Knights, but it can go either way, but I'm pretty confident the Knights will get it. I reckon Greg Marzhew is definitely a pretty safe bet of getting a try, and it will most likely be, close game, because, the Raiders always 1-12 no matter what, so I am very excited for that.
Yes, it will actually be a very good game. I'm going to go with the Knights. They've obviously got the reigning Dally M winner of Ponga.
Oh, yeah.
So
he'll also be good for a try.
He will. I reckon he's going to light up. He's going to light up Newcastle tonight. It's going to be in for a very, very big game. So it's going to be very, very good. But I reckon the Knights get up. Next game, Warriors and the Sharks. Who you got?
Gotta go to the Wires. This is probably my second most confident bet of the weekend, It's a Wires home game, and, with that stat, Sharks not so good being outside New South Wales. And I think the Wires supporters are really gonna push them to really get them tries in, because I reckon it'll be a high try scoring game, And I think DWZ is also another for sure try scorer. And I think it's probably 1-12 again, because with all these games, it is pretty tough, especially in the first week. So yeah.
Yeah, it will. The Sharks haven't won outside of New South Wales since 1990, and that's going to be a very, very big factor.
Yeah, 100%
for them. So I'm going to go the Wires. You can't go against them at home, especially after what happened last season. So Wires are my prediction. The stats say it all anyway. Next game, Storm Panthers game of the round.
Oh.
Now that Cameron Munster's ruled out, so I think it's an obvious decision.
Honestly, originally, I was so 50-50. Like, I do not know who was going to win. But with Cameron Munster out, I'm probably going to be slightly more on, like, the Panthers side, you know. So, because Cameron Munster has such a big role, especially against the Panthers. Because going against the Panthers, you need everyone you have. You need everyone on and just... Yeah, honestly, I'm going to tip the Panthers for this one. Definitely 1-12, though. But still going to tip the Panthers.
Yeah, well... When you versus the Panthers, like I said, you have to have every single player.
100%.
Every single player has to show up versus the Panthers. It's not like, you're versing, no offense to Tigers fans, but when you verse the Tigers, it's not like you can have one guy that just goes out there and does everything. You have to have the whole team versing when you verse the Panthers. So
yeah,
I'm going to go the Panthers, but it's not going to, even though Munster's ruled out, it's not going to be easy.
100%.
Definitely not going to be easy for Penrith, but it's going to be a close game. But yeah, that's my prediction for the Panthers to get up. And then Saturday night footy, Power and the Dogs.
Ooh.
It's pretty obvious again, I think, but never know. Never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Para's the easy option. I'm going with Parramatta to win. And then Titans and the Dragons. This is a tough decision.
Yeah, it is tough, but as I said before, I do think Dragons will get up in this one. Also, we'll think it'll be another close game, so 1-12. I think Mike Raulara or Cam Pro score tries, so probably you could mix them together, like play A or B. But yeah, gonna be a tough one. But I do have the Dragons for the line on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dragons head to head. That's for sure. I just reckon, Titans, I don't think, with their new lineup, with Brimson into the centres, I still don't think he's comfortable with it yet. I just don't think it's going to work. I reckon probably round 4 to 5, they'll go back to their usual with Brimson at fullback.
Yeah.
Jaden Campbell back on the bench. I just don't think it's not going to work, to be honest. The Dragons, full strength. They didn't beat the Titans last year during that Easter weekend, but I just think they're going to be out for revenge. So Dragons is going to be my head-to-head.
Yeah.
And then the final game to kick it off, Sunday Arvo, Dolphins, Cowboys. I'm going to have to go to the Cowboys with this one.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm pretty sure Cowboys will win this. And I'm tempted to go 13+, but I really don't want to fully go out for Dolphins, but fuck it. I'll go 13+.
That's a big call there for 13+.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't put money on it, but if I just had to guess the margin, 13+.
13+ is a big call, but
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of Dolphins fans that are going to help the Dolphins make it a close game.
Yeah.
It'll be a massive upset if they win, I reckon.
Oh, obviously, 100%.
We know what happened round 1 last year. No one expected the Dolphins to win, and they win by 10 points against the Roosters. So the Cowboys aren't the Roosters, but maybe we see something similar to it. But I'm going to go the Cowboys. I reckon Valentine Holmes and Drinkwater. I reckon the whole backline is going to be in for a massive game here.
Oh, yeah.
Not even just the backline, the whole team. The Cowboys have a really good team. Nanai, Tamalolo, Lukey, Cotter. That's you can pretty much put the entire Cowboys team in the Maroons colours.
Yeah.
At this point, Drinkwater is actually New South Wales. Felt can play Origin. Holmes, Queensland. Taulagi did, and Robson, who's actually New South Wales. But chuck this entire Cowboys team in Queensland jerseys. That's pretty much what they are. Cowboys are my predictions. You've already done your bets, have you?
Yeah, basically. I do have a big bet, but I probably won't list out because it's pretty long and most likely won't hit. It's basically just the head-to-heads except Panthers and Storms. how the predictions I have, and then basically just like a try score from each game. So DWZ, Greg Marjorie. Rest of the games I play A or B. So like with the Xavier Coates and Brian Tolo, all that stuff, and some captain points, and that's basically it, really.
Right, well, I've got mine. So I'm going to go through for each round and see what you reckon. So with the Thursday game, I've got Greg Marju to score anytime, over 41.5 match points. And here's a big call, Knights 13 plus.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, first game in Australia, Thursday night footy, you're in Newcastle, fans are going to be out there. I reckon Knights, especially with Ponga. Ponga's going to be in for a big game, so that's why I reckon the Knights get up 13 plus.
True,
So,
I mean, I would say it's a good bet, but with the fucking Raiders, it's always 1 to 12. For some reason, it's always 1 to 12.
Originally, I did have 1 to 12, but then I changed my decision last minute to 13 plus.
Yeah.
So these would be my lock-in. If I were to bet, these would be my lock-in ones. And then next one, I'd go Warriors head-to-head. Warriors first half head-to-head to be up, and then under 39.5 match points.
Okay.
So it's the Warriors first half head-to-head is a bit of a surprising bet that you don't really see, but
I personally think there'll be a lot of points in it, but that's fair to think that unders, but I personally think it'll go overs though.
Under 39.5. I mean, the last two games that these two played last season, it were well over. I think round one it was 62 points, and then the second time they played was 56. So I don't know. I just have a feeling it's all going to be defense to them tomorrow night.
Yeah, and that is especially fair for because it is round one. So could we just test the waters and stuff like that?
Waz do have they didn't have the best defensive team back in the 2023 especially in the finals. They conceded I think it was 40 or 30 to the Panthers, conceded 10 against the Knights, and then they conceded 42 against the Bronx. So I don't know. I just have a feeling that the defense is going to come in tomorrow night. But then next game, I got the Panthers to cover line at -5.5.
Oh, okay.
Pappenhausen anytime try scorer, Dylan Edwards anytime try scorer, and over 36.5 match points. So the Panthers to cover the line at 5.5. Big call. I think that's a big call.
That is a big call.
But I don't know. I don't see the Panthers winning by more than 6, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I don't see it. Okay, this one. This is a massive bold bet. So, Eels head-to-head, Stephen Crichton anytime try scorer, and Jacob Kraz first try scorer.
Oh, okay.
That would probably be a massive payout, but I would put it in real quick. I reckon it's gonna be big money. So yeah, Kraz first try. So that odd is 151.
Jeez, okay.
$151 odds. $5 will win you 755.
Fucking hell.
That all up multi 151.
Jesus.
So very, very bold and very, very big.
Oh yeah, sounds like it.
For $151 multi, mate, if you're a Dogs fan, or Paras head-to-head, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Next game, Titans to cover the line at 5.5.
Oh, okay. Wow.
-5.5. Lofiana Khan Pereira to score either the first, second, or third try, and under 42.5 match points.
So you think Titans will cover the line?
Cover the line at -5.5, I reckon. Even though the Dragons I would go the Dragons at plus 5.5,
Mm.
but I don't know. I reckon the Titans will cover it.
Mm.
So that's my one. I reckon Lofi will definitely score one of the first 3 tries, but
Mm.
we'll wait and see. And the final one, my final bet for the weekend would be the Cowboys 1-12. Hamaso and Jermaine Osako, anytime try scorer, player A or B. And a big one here is the Dolphins to score over 8.5 first half points. So that's pretty much,
Wait, what's the odds on that?
um, I think it was like $7, if I'm correct.
What?
It was a bit of a big one,
That's to score over 8.5 points in the first half.
just in the first half.
That's
Let's
actually
see.
really good. I actually might put money on that. Wow.
Dolphins first half total. Sorry, it's $1.94.
Oh, okay, I was
Never
gonna
mind.
say that's
$1.94.
crazy.
And the North Queensland Cowboys total first half points is over 11.5. So to score under 11.5, it's $2.
Mm.
So, but the Dolphins total points, they're 17.5. So, and then for the Cows, 23.5. So sports bettors predicting that the Cowboys get up 23.5 to 17.5. So those are my bets for the week. Obviously, I'm not paid to say this, but gamble responsibly, please. Just like you hear on the sports bet ads.
Yeah, you know.
And that's my bets for round 1.
And yeah,
So
that's our predictions.
I think that's
Interesting.
so there's a lot of big games.
Mhm.
What a way to kick off NRL in 2024 in Australia. But I don't know. I'm just keen. I just want it to be 7:05 already. Well, actually 7 o'clock already.
Mm.
Actually, before we go, there is breaking news about the Spencer Leniu guilty plea. He will be referred on Tuesday night on how long his suspension will be.
Mm.
So Tuesday night is when we find out how long it's going to be. And also, Reece Walsh has been hit with a grade 1 shoulder charge offence, and he's only going to face a $3,000 fine. And if he does decide to appeal it, it will be increased to a 2-game ban, which means he could miss out against the matchup against the Bunnies and the Panthers if he decides to appeal his decision. If not, $3,000 fine stands and he plays the next 2 games.
Ooh.
So maybe should Walsh appeal it? I'm gonna be safe and say don't appeal, because these 2 games against the Bunnies and the Panthers are gonna be huge.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna say stick with your $3,000 fine. It's gonna come out of your paycheck anyway. But Tuesday night is when we find out about the Lenu, which we'll be obviously talking about next weekend.
Mm.
But I think that's it. Covered everything that we needed to.
Yeah.
So like we said, we'll get the YouTube started up. Try and get it started up next week, but might take a little bit of time. So
Mhm.
hopefully we can get that up next week. And let's just bring on round 1. Footy's back.
Footy's
Get
fucking
keen.
back, boys.
Footy is back, and like we said in the earlier podcast, if there is any other sports that want us to go through, we can look into it. We can see what sports there is, and we can do a bit of research on it. I don't think this guy wants to do AFL,
Fuck
but
AFL.
if you want to see NBA, we can do NBA. We know a bit about NBA. I mean, I know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Maybe if they want to do some off-season NFL, probably no point. But we're happy to do NBA.
In KP and our other friends really into F1, so there's F1 also.
There is, we can get a zombie to join F1. I love my F1. I can even do supercars if you want. If any of you guys want to see some supercars, I can grab him, do some supercars, F1. Any sport, guys, just let us know. We will get up an Instagram. We will start up an Instagram. flick us a DM or comment saying which sport, and we'll try and get in contact. And we can even get you guys onto the podcast if you want. Be good to get fans onto the podcast. But other than that, I think that's everything.
Yeah, that's it.
That should be it.
Yeah.
So bring on round 1. We'll see you guys sometime next week for our round 1 week recap, and then jump into week 2.
See you all next
Thank you for
time.
tuning in to Sports on Tap podcast. See you next week.